Hey, seventh grade. So our learning target for today is I can find volume of a cylinder. You should be on page 11. So we're talking about today is a cylinder. So hopefully you think of cylinders. You've thought of maybe a pop can. You're familiar with cylinders. So we have a circle on the top. We have this shape here. We'll talk about that is in a second. Circle on the bottom. So we have a cylinder. So the way to identify the parts of or the shapes of a cylinder really is to think about that a cylinder is made up of this circle that's on the top. It has this rectangle that wraps around the middle and the circle that's on the bottom, creating this three-dimensional shape. Okay, so that's what a cylinder looks like. So when we're talking about the volume of the cylinder, we're really talking about how much it can hold. How much can the pop can hold? So we're talking maybe a 12-ounce can of pop. How much does it hold? So some things that we're going to talk about to start with is just the word volume anyway, to begin with. Volume really means how much something holds, or the capacity of it. So what's true about any 3D figure? The thing that's true about any 3D figure, when you calculate the volume or how much it holds, you can always multiply the area of the base. Now, I'm not just saying the word base here. I'm saying the area of the entire base and multiply it by the height. Now, you've done this work before with rectangular prisms in probably 5th or 6th grade. You took the area of the bottom, length times width, and you multiplied it by the height. So same thing's happening here, but the difference in circles is that the bottom of the circle is actually in the shape of, or the base of the cylinder is actually in the shape of a circle. So in this spot right here, we're going to put area of circle multiplied by the height. So it's going to turn into volume is equal to the area of the circle we just learned is pi r squared multiply by the height. This is going to be our formula today. So we're going to have to transfer some of those variables in there and break it down for specifically how do we find out how much a cylinder holds? What's the capacity of it? All right, here we go. So our first example, example 1, volume. We're asking how much does this hold? How much pop can I put in here? So we're going to use the formula volume equals capital B times H because that's what we're given. Recognizing that the base of this is a circle. And to find the area of a circle, we say pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. So we're going to replace this with a pi r squared for the base. When we're done with that, we will multiply by the height of the cylinder. Okay, so here we go. We have known that 3.14 represents pi. And we know that the radius goes from center to rim. The radius of this cylinder happens to be a 5. We are going to square the radius, and then we're going to multiply by the height of the cylinder. The height of the cylinder is right here, represented by the number 10. So we're going to put all of this in our calculator. It's 3.14 multiplied by the radius 5. We have to square that and then multiply by 10. Go ahead and type that calculator sequence in. Everybody's typing in. 3.14 times 5 squared times 10. 3.14 times 5 squared times 10. All right, as you solve that, you should be coming up with 785 feet cubed. So the volume of this cylinder is 785 feet cubed, or feet to the third power. All right, guys, so now example 2. Example 2 is another cylinder. Looks a little bit different because that it's given the diameter. So we'll talk about what that looks like in just a second here. So wanting to know how much does it hold? How much? So we're going to start with that same volume formula. So we have the volume is equal to capital B times H. The base is this circle. And to find the area of the base, it's pi r squared. Sounds like area to me. So we're going to replace this base with a pi r squared. There's the area of the base. And then we're going to multiply by the height of the cylinder. Again, how much does it hold? So we end up with 3.14 multiplied by the radius squared. We'll talk about that height in just a second. Now in this work today, I want you to kind of ignore that arrow because that confuses kids often. Instead, look to see, is it a full line, the line that goes from side to side passing through the center, or is it a half? Here's the line right here. That's a whole line. That's a diameter. So the diameter is 8. I need a radius, though, to go in this spot. If the diameter is 8, the radius is 4. So we're going to put a 4 here, 4 squared. We then multiply by the height of the cylinder, and the height of the cylinder happens to be 12. So we have 3.14 times 4 squared times 12. Everybody's typing it in. Let's go, guys. Everybody types in 3.14 times 4 squared times 12. As we start to solve that, our answer is 602.88 inches cubed. 602.88 inches cubed. That is the volume or the capacity, how much this cylinder can hold in terms of pop or whatever the liquid would be. All right, guys, example 3. Let's give it a shot here. So we're talking about a volume again. How much does it hold? How much can we put in this container? The formula in any three-dimensional object, the volume formula looks like this. In elementary school, you talked about rectangular prisms, length times width times height. But this is actually a cylinder, which has a circular base. There's our base. To find the area of that, it's pi r squared. So we're going to have pi r squared as the area of the base, and we're going to multiply it by the height. So we end up with 3.14 times the radius squared. Now the radius goes from center to the rim, which is 3 squared. Center to rim is the 3. We're going to take that and multiply by the height. The height is 6. So we have 3.14 times 3 squared times 6. As I solve, then I have 169.56 inches cubed. That is the volume or the capacity of this cylinder. All right, guys, so it's a pretty fast lesson today. What we talked about is volume. To find the volume, we would say volume is equal to capital B times H. That's true for any cylinder. We're going to cross off that base and do volume is equal to pi r squared, because that's the area of the bottom, and then we still multiply it by the height. Remember that your answers are always in cubic inches for volume, because we're talking capacity or how much it holds. And that is everything we have for today in terms of our lesson. Your homework then is to finish all of page 12 due tomorrow. And actually, guys, what I want you to do is do page 12, 13, and 14 unless the sub says otherwise. Again, I repeat, your homework for tonight is to do page 12, 13, and 14 due tomorrow. Have a fabulous night. Great job today, 7th grade.